Another day over, another day done. Another day where I go back to square one. There's no magic pill for when my pain begins. There's just no way out of this prison I'm in. One thing that helps is knowing that someone believes me. God, please believe me.
Welcome back to Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. A couple weeks ago, I did a mental health video about UFC fighter Paddy Pimblett, his message for people that were struggling with depression. In the comments, someone had asked about doing one of these maybe twice a month. So I'm trying another mental health video. I don't know if this will be a regular feature. Please let me know in the comments if this is something you'd like to see more of, if this is helpful at all. I want to share my journey as it goes, but I really do want to make sure that this is something that can encourage someone or help someone who's going through anything similar. February is kind of an anniversary month for me this year. Last year in February, I was told that some of the medications that I was on, that some recent studies had come out and there were some big issues. In short, I was forced to get off of all the medications I'd been on for about a decade and change everything over. The impact in life was enormous. And to be honest, the new regimen that I'm on, it doesn't manage pain nearly as well. Before I go on, I'm going to talk about medications, not the specific names, but types of medications. If this is something you're not comfortable with, this may not be the best video to watch. I just want to be careful about how graphic I am talking about this, because this is very personal to many people. So just understand I'm about to talk about specific kinds of prescriptions and some of the adverse effects that I've gone through. So just kind of fair warning there. And before I say any of this, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving any advice. I'm just sharing my journey, how I've been impacted by certain types of medications, not the specific medications, but certain types, changes I've had to make, and things that we continue to find out. This is not advice. Do not do anything without consulting a physician or a health expert in terms of adding or removing anything from your regimen. If you're taking medication or you feel like you need medication, please talk to someone who's certified, a professional, a doctor, before you make any decisions. So last February, I went into my doctor for what is basically annually, they have to approve all your medications again. The medications I was on for chronic pain, there were multiple types of opioids, as well as certain types of muscle relaxers. Studies came out that being on those medications for that long and the combination I was on were causing respiratory failure and heart failure in men my age. I'm just about to turn 50. First, I was terrified, of course, to have the doctor tell me that. And then second, I was honestly very upset. Though I know these meds are not good for you, they did help with the pain. They helped me to sleep at night. And I had no choice. It was either change and go with the recommended protocol, or they would stop treating me and I would be cut off of all medications immediately and go through potentially life-threatening withdrawals. So of course, I made the change. You're on certain types of medications, you have to go through a scheduled withdrawals, and they use medications to help you get those out of your system safely. I was on them for over 10 years and on high doses for over 8. It wouldn't have been safe for me just to stop. After about 2 months, I could tell my body had changed quite a bit, that the opioid pain medication had kind of worked its way out. The effects of it, I've been told, will take, I'll basically have to be off of them for as long as I was on them for some of the effects to be reversed, if that makes sense. Things like certain types of hormone suppression, issues that they found out that your body begins to heal itself, but it takes as long being off of them as I was on them. So at about 60, a lot of that should be reversed from what I've been told. The new medication I'm on, it was in part to help me get off of opioids, but it's supposed to also offer pain management as well as depression management. But to be frank, the pain management has not been good. And in the wintertime, all of the symptoms I have from the assault, from the closed head injury, I have back issues, etc., they all get worse in the wintertime. So when I visited the doctor this year, I let them know that the breakthrough pain was too bad. The headaches were back to a level where I couldn't function. I've had to shut down. I made a post about that. I have to sit in the dark with a blindfold, literally just pull things over my eyes. And it felt like I was slipping back to where I was years ago after the injury. So they prescribed a new type of muscle relaxer. Now, this made me very nervous because part of the reason I was taken off of muscle relaxers to begin with was that your heart is a muscle, and long-term use, in my case, on what I was on, again, this isn't advice, it causes your heart to relax and can cause it to relax too much. The suggestion was brought up to add that back into my medication. I was very nervous because I thought this would be a step backward. I was assured that this is a different type, and we went through to make sure it wouldn't interfere with any of the medications that I'm on. I double-checked that with the pharmacy, and then I did a couple of more checks on my own, including the Mayo Clinic has a website for drug interactions, and one of the side effects listed with this medication was the potential for migraine headaches. And of course, when I get the headaches, that causes problems with my heart. So my heart rate, I was diagnosed in stage 1 hypertension at my doctor's appointment. We needed to get my heart rate down. We needed to get my headaches settled. So I was given this medication. Unfortunately, the medication caused migraines. So the pain got worse. And I was essentially in stage 1 hypertension through the weekend and through the beginning of this week, off and on. Because this is a new prescription and it's not one that I have to take, it was just for breakthrough, I'm able to stop taking it, and that's what I've had to do. I'm hoping over the next week to at least get back to where I was, where the heart rate isn't continually at a level described as stage 1 hypertension. I can get my breathing back regularly. This is part of the journey. I'm calling this episode There's No Magic Pill. Again, I'm using the song I wrote, Uncomplicated, as kind of a metaphor throughout these mental health videos because a big part of that song was written due to the struggle with mental health. And one of the lyrics I wrote, and I'll be putting up the picture from the video here, was there's no magic pill for when my pain begins. There's just no way out of this prison I'm in. Medications, I'm learning, at least in my case, they are not a cure. They're a management tool. And it's a management tool that has to be reassessed often. Getting to a point where I'm starting to learn about alternative options and methods. Justine on The Real, she's talked about alternative methods. That's something I will talk to my physician about to see if there are options for me away from pharmaceuticals. Because in my personal experience, and that's all this is, there's give and take anytime I'm given a new medication. First, if the medication works, there's a very real chance that I will have to increase the dosage later, that my body builds up a sort of resistance. And then there can be other issues. So in the case of my medications for pain, I'm safer on the current medications that I have now, but the pain management isn't nearly as good. But that's a trade-off worth making to me in this case, because I'd rather have a chance at being healthy and living longer than taking something that's doing active damage that we now know. So for this new medication, I can talk to the doctor, just stop taking it, and then we can revisit this in a while once my body has adjusted back. But I know I need to use a lot of communication. you can fall into that trap of just taking something and knowing it's not doing anything or it's actually doing harm, and you just do it because I don't want to have the conversation again with the doctor. I've realized now how dangerous that is. So when this wasn't working, my symptoms were getting worse and my health was getting worse, I immediately took action in relaying this information to my physician, stopping taking the medication, and doing it in a way that's safe. I guess this is the part of the journey that I'm trying to, and I'm probably doing a really poor job. There's never been a magic moment where I've been given a medication and everything's better. It's just management of pain, management of symptoms, and some do it very well and some don't do it as well. But the trade-off is health. So right now this week, I'm struggling greatly with my health. My heart rate continues to jump up, but it's starting to get more regular. I'm out of breath like I've been running. So even just in the time I've been shooting this, I've been here for just over 10 minutes. I feel like I just ran a mile. But I want to share this because I'm sure other people are dealing with this. When you're dealing with mental health and pain together, the two play off of each other. The medication I take for pain will affect my mental state, and the medication I take for my mental health can also have an effect on my pain. I don't know why they work in conjunction, they just do. But it's something I've learned I have to be very careful about. I can't just add medication to my regimen. I have to work very carefully with my doctor, and even though there was something we thought was safe for a long time, a new study comes out and shows that after a while, it's doing things to your body that can be dangerous. So I guess my point is, if you're on medications, please be in constant contact with your doctor. Understand that new information is coming out all the time, that side effects can present themselves after a while that weren't always available in the initial studies. For me, I've got to get back to just the amount of pain that I figured out how I could live with, because the new option for me just isn't working. It's causing heart problems, it's causing breathing problems, and it's made my migraines come back. The journey through depression and pain, it is a daily battle, but there are so many things that make it better outside of medication. Obviously, this is a music channel. Valerie Bott talked about this on her channel. Playing music is therapeutic. So for me, even when I'm not feeling well, I'll be planning to do my music stream this week, because playing and singing music, it feels like it heals me from within and gives me a respite from the issues. And good friends. I've got my Team Pookie mug. Thank you, Boomer, for creating these, and Pookie. Just seeing this show up in the mail made me smile. So this community is incredible. Pookie in all the streams is just absolutely hilarious and awesome. You guys lift me up continually, and I appreciate you. I want to share this journey because if you're in a place where you need help, it's not enough just to do the things of feeling better. You may need to talk to a physician, and even if you're currently working with a physician, new information comes out all the time. The medications that I thought were safe for a long time turned out not to be safe. And I'm getting to a point in life where I'm trying to see if there are safe ways to do something other than a pharmaceutical to manage my issues or symptoms. The latest option they gave me, it caused my health to get worse. It's not anything anyone did intentionally. It just my body reacted poorly, but I was able to act quickly, stop taking it, and then revisit the situation. I hope you're using that option. Whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, make sure you have someone you communicate with all the time. And if your symptoms are getting worse, talk to somebody. Don't let them get worse in isolation, especially. I believe that depression can be a terminal illness, especially when it goes untreated. We need to talk to each other. We need to talk to our medical providers and just take this journey a day at a time. There's no magic pills, but there are solutions that will help you deal with things day by day. Thank you to anybody who stopped by and hung in for my rambling this long. I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves and be good to each other.